plant-based barbecue. Oh yeah.
Hey, it's Brian Rodgers, and we're back with another base Fool's Gold plant-based barbecue recipe. That's right, y'all. I said it's plant-based. So here we go. We're going to do the one of my favorite dishes, one I eat almost every week, and that is smoked sweet potato burnt ends. Now, I know I'm from Kansas City, and we take our burnt ends really, really seriously in Kansas City. Kansas City is really known for kind of three things in the barbecue world. We're known for our sauce, we're known for our burnt ends, but what a lot of people don't realize is we're really known for our sweet potatoes. And in fact, when I started doing the history of plant-based barbecue to figure out, to try to trace the roots of, hey, was I really the first one that did plant-based barbecue? What I found was there was a lot of hole-in-the-wall Kansas City restaurants that served sweet potatoes for years and years. In fact, they served them as a main dish right alongside ribs and chicken and burnt ends and everything else. There was always sweet potato on a lot of these hole-in-the-wall menus, sweet potato burnt ends. So, in fact, there really has been plant-based barbecue for as long as barbecues existed, really, in Kansas City. Sweet potatoes have always been really popular on most barbecue restaurant menus in Kansas City, but they're really popular now across the country in restaurants, mostly as like fries and tots and things like that. But I'm here to tell you that sweet potatoes are such a versatile ingredient when it comes to plant-based barbecue. So we're going to do burnt ends, but you can do all kinds of things with sweet potatoes. In fact, a lot of times what I'll do with sweet potatoes, I'll just take whole sweet potatoes or yams just like this, and I'll put them right in my smoker. And if you smoke these for 2.5 hours, you'll have a perfect baked sweet potato. They can use to make mashed potatoes. You can cut them open and pour chili on them. You can do all kinds of things. But for this recipe, we're going to do burnt ends. So in this base recipe, again, you can modify this, but we're going to use our Fool's Gold. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of our Fool's Gold rub. And again, you can use any rub you like. I highly recommend you check out the Fool's Gold rubs on our website, because I specially formulated these just to work well with plant-based barbecue. I took all the salt out. They're all salt-free, so any salt you see, I'm just going to be adding to it. But they're completely salt-free, and you don't have to use any salt right out of the bottle. So we're going to use 1 tablespoon of Fool's Gold sweet potato rub. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of demerara sugar. This is the only kind of sugar that I use in my diet. I don't do any refined sugar. I really don't do sugar that often, but when I do rubs, I like to put a little demerara sugar into it. We're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of smoked cherry wood salt for this. This is amazing salt. It's the least processed salt you'll ever find. You can find it on our website, but you can also find it at maybe your local grocery store. But it's salt flakes, so it's not as processed. And then this is totally optional. We're going to use about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, any kind of Dijon mustard. So let's get after it. The first thing we want to do is we want to make our sweet potatoes look more similar to like burnt ends. So we're going to cut them up. How I like to do them, if I got a large sweet potato like this, I like to cut both ends off to start with. So I'm going to cut both ends off like that. And then you can cut them into like round triangles or however you want to do it. But the way I like to do sweet potatoes, I like them to be a little bit more square, because I want them to kind of look more like a burnt end. So I kind of cut both sides off. So I'll take this knife and I'll kind of cut both sides off a little bit like that. I'm still going to smoke this part, but I'm going to cut the sides off like this. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut both sides off. Hey, can you go grab my knife assistant? I think my knife assistant needs to come and sharpen my knife for me real quick. Oh, wait, I don't have an assistant. I forgot to sharpen my own knives. So lesson to you on this video: every time you cook, make sure you sharpen your own knife. Did you see how I kind of struggled to cut through that sweet potato? It's because I didn't sharpen my own knife. So I will not make that mistake again. So cut both sides off, and then we're going to cut it down the middle just like this. If this is a sharp knife, I would just be able to cut it no problem. So we're going to cut it down the middle like that. Notice we have kind of 2 squares here, and we're just going to kind of cut these into chunks that look similar to a brisket burnt end. You've got your bark is usually on the top of a burnt end here, right there, which is the skin, and then it kind of looks square, and here's the meat of the burnt end. So we're going to cut those up just like so. And again, if I was doing this for a large event or like for catering or something like that, I would be wearing gloves or I would wash my hands or whatever. But this is for my family. I'm cooking these for my family and for my friends. So I've washed my hands. I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm going to cut these again into burnt ends. You can make these as big as small as you want. That's kind of how I like it. And then I usually take these pieces and I kind of cut these into what I call home fries. So where they're kind of long fries like that. So we're going to go ahead and put that aside. And then the ends, how I deal with the ends is I cut them right through the top like that. And then I just cut them one time in half, just like that. Okay? So just like that. Boom. All right, so we cut all that up. And I'm going to do the same thing on the second sweet potato. Again, cut the ends off. Put them right there. Cut that end off. And we're going to go up, cut both sides off. This is a pretty large sweet potato. I'm going to cut both sides off. That side. And this side. See how I was struggling there? It means my knife's not sharp enough. So we're going to take this, cut this in half, like so, and we have our burnt ends. Cut that into chunks, just like so. More chunks. My wife absolutely loves sweet potato French fries. So a lot of times I'll have to like pull out the mandolin and I'll have to cut like chunks. And she's literally, I'm like, what do you want for dinner, honey? Sweet potato French fries. What else do you want? I just want sweet potato French fries. She literally would eat sweet potato fries or regular fries for every meal. She also is plant-based. So she does eats plant-based barbecue. And we don't really do fried food very often, but we did discover like the air fryer, and we use our little oven every once in a while. But we don't really use oil very much. So it's really hard to get sweet potatoes crispy. But I found that just by using a little Dijon mustard when we go to smoke the sweet potatoes, and then after we smoke them, put a little barbecue sauce on them, and then put them in either the air fryer or the oven, it really crisps them up nice without the need for using oil, and it's a lot healthier. So that's really it. So we're going to take the rest of these sweet potatoes, cut them up, and you can either put these then in a mixing bowl, or what I like to use is a smoking pan, a restaurant pan, like this. So I'm going to take all these sweet potatoes and I'm going to throw them in the restaurant pan here, just like so. And we're going to put all of our ingredients in. I usually like to start with the mustard first. And all the mustard's really doing, it'll give it a little bit of flavor. But what it's really doing is providing some moisture for the rub to be able to stick to the sweet potatoes. So we're going to put this in real quick. Put my Dijon mustard in there. And again, the mustard's optional. It's not usually on all of our recipes, but I use about a teaspoon of mustard. Next, I like to put my salt in. So I'm going to throw my Fool's Gold cherry wood smoked salt. And then we've got the Fool's Gold sweet potato rub that looked something like, I think we have it actually right here. Our sweet potato rub, it looks something similar to that. You can find it on our website. It's absolutely amazing. But again, if you don't want to use Fool's Gold rub, feel free to use your own rub. And then we're going to add some Demerara sugar. Again, this step's optional. If you don't want to add the sugar, you don't need to add the sugar. But I like it in the sweet potato. So I'm going to add it. And we're going to go ahead and mix these up. Since I already have the spoon here, I'm going to just mix it around with the spoon a little bit. I probably, if I didn't use the mustard, I'd be using my hands right now. In fact, I'm probably going to use my hands here in a second anyways, because that's real barbecue. Your hands are going to get dirty if you're doing barbecue, whether it's plant-based or not. I promise you that. So we're going to mix that up. Actually, I got a big old chunk right there. I need to cut that up a little more. Just give that a cut. Just cut that in half. And cut that in half, throw that back in. Wash my hands real quick. And I'm going to do what I just said. I'm going to get in there and get a little dirty. I am going to put some gloves on for this though, only because I have another video to do and I don't want my hands to look completely dirty on the next video. So I'm going to take the sweet potatoes here And we're going to, and you don't have to get these all the way on, just to where it's covering your hands. Put these on. And there we go. And then we're going to just take the sweet potatoes and we're going to rub that in. Just like you were rubbing, when I used to, in my old barbecue competition days, when I was doing huge barbecue competitions, and I used to love this part. I used to love rubbing the pork butts and the briskets and things like that. And this is still one of my favorite parts of doing plant-based barbecue, is really getting in there and smelling the ingredients that you just created. It just smells amazing. I mean, even though it's not, it's going to smell more amazing once it's cooked, but I even love the smell of the rubs and the ingredients mixing together. So that's really about how I want it to look right there. For this recipe, this can be done anywhere. You don't have to have some professional smoker or a big barbecue rig. I'm not going to go out to my big rig and smoke these today. In fact, all you have to have is an oven or a campfire for these, the way we're going to do it. We're going to do these in our wood-infused oven bags. If you've never heard of that, you should, because one of the things a lot of people say is, Brian, that sounds good, but the reason I don't do barbecue is, one, because it takes too much time, or I don't have a smoker, and I don't want to go buy a smoker, right? Or it's going to smoke at my house. Well, I'm going to show you a way to where there's no excuses for not doing real barbecue anymore. Our bags are amazing. They put a great smoke flavor on all of our recipes. And plant-based doesn't take as long. These are only going to need to smoke for about 45 minutes in your oven. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the glove. Actually, I'm going to take the gloves off here. Let me throw these away. And as I told you, we're going to use our wood-infused smoker bags for this. It's kind of like a shake and bake bag. And if you kind of, I don't know, you can't really, you might be able to hear it. If it's really quiet, I'm going to shake it. You can kind of hear, kind of sounds like rice going back and forth. That's actually the wood that's infused into these bags. These are recyclable bags, but there's wood infused into these. I'm using hickory wood bags today. So all you do is you take these bags and you open them up. Again, you can find these on our website. You open these bags up, and we're going to take our rubbed sweet potatoes. That's exactly how they should look. Those look amazing. We're going to take these and we're going to pour them into our bag. And the way I like to do this is, let me just make a little funnel out of this. We don't need a kitchen funnel, or we don't need anything else. All we need is a little funnel like that. We're going to pour those right in. Pour those babies in there, just like that. And then on the bags, you'll see, you can't use regular aluminum foil for this. It has to be the wood-infused bags. If you don't want to use these bags, you really need to use like a range top smoker if you want to do it inside, or you need a real smoker. And please, whatever you do not use liquid smoke. You have to put real smoke into your barbecue. Otherwise, it's not barbecue. You can't call it barbecue. You can. You do whatever you want. But don't put liquid smoke into your food. It's horrible for you. It's not real barbecue. Put real smoke into your food. I saved my life by smoking. I lost 120 pounds, reversed 6 life-threatening diseases by doing these same recipes, by putting real smoke into my food, not by putting liquid grossness into my food. But on these bags, it'll say side down on one of the sides right here. It says side down. So that you'll want to put to the bottom of either your grill or your campfire or your oven, to the bottom. And then the way I do this is, I remember the days when you used to do like paper airplanes. I kind of look at this as a paper airplane. So the first thing you want to do is fold these sides over like this, because we want to all the smoke to stay in the bag. So you fold it over like this, and then I take it and I fold it once, just like that, and then I fold it twice, just like that. It makes you a nice little food pouch, and then I kind of shake it a little bit more. Don't shake it too hard, because we don't want to break open the bags, because if you break open the bags, then there's wood in there. There's literally wood chips inside the bags. So give it a little shake, and that's really it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to, the way I like to do it in the oven, I like to put the oven on 475 degrees, so almost broil. I like to do that for 10 minutes. Once you've done that for about 10 minutes, then I turn the heat down to about 375 to 400, and then I do it for about 30 to 45 minutes. So about an hour total to make this. So we're going to go ahead and put this in our oven. I really am using an oven today. So we're going to take our bag and we're going to go over to the oven here. And we're going to put this in the oven, and that's it. You just stick it in your oven and you're good to go. And you shut your oven, and that's really it. We're going to, after about an hour, we're going to take it out of the oven. Be really careful with this because it's hot. It's really, really hot. So we're going to take this out of the oven, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so it's out of the oven. Here's our bag. These are one-time use bags, but they are recyclable. So if you do get some from our website, make sure that you really do, that you definitely recycle these. Again, it's hot. So what I like to do is once I get it, I like to give it another little shake before I do this. And then we're going to open the bag. And again, this is very hot. I'm going to put my knife out of the way before I cut myself. Very hot. I do this a lot in the winter here. We're getting ready to go into ski season here in Colorado, and I ski about 3 to 4 times a week. And this is literally, these are the kinds of things I do for lunch. I stop at rest stops. When I'm up in the mountains, I build a campfire, and this is literally how I do plant-based barbecue in the winter. And we're going to do some videos on that. But we're going to open this up real quick, and notice that smoke coming out. That's just, look at that. I mean, that's just amazing. I don't know if you can see down in there or not, but that's just smoke. Oh my goodness, smells like pure hickory. Oh, it smells so good, y'all. This is just, oh, so good. So I take it. Here's what I like to do. I don't recommend a lot of people say, well, why not just do a hobo meal and roll it down and eat out of this bag? I don't recommend that, only because there is wood inside the bags, but I do it all the time. Even though I don't recommend it, I still do it, because if this does come out, the wood will get into your food. Again, it's not dangerous or anything like that, but I don't recommend that. So I recommend pouring it out. Here's what it's going to look like, y'all. There is sweet potato burnt ends right out of the oven. World-class smoked barbecue out of a bag right from my kitchen. You saw it in real time. That's just amazing. That's exactly how it should look. Let me go ahead and get rid of this bag. Again, please recycle. I'm going to grab a spoon here because I can't wait any longer. I have to taste one of these. These are just, I mean, look at these, guys. That's just, look. That's just amazing right there. That's exactly how they should look. It looks like a burnt end. Amazing. So there's several ways you can do it. This is the base recipe. So we usually just do these in bulk, and then they'll stay in your refrigerator, and then you can use them all week for bowls, for tacos. Oh, that's so good. For tacos, you can use these in breakfast scrambles. Like I like to do tofu breakfast scrambles and put some of these in it. You can chop them up. You can do them in, we do super nachos night, and these make an amazing topping for super nachos. So many ways you can do it. But I can go ahead and put them in the fridge. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and finish these on the spot. So I'm going to grab a little bit of my Fool's Gold barbecue sauce. If you haven't checked this sauce out, you should totally check it out. This is based on the same sauce that actually won the American Royal. I've been making this sauce pretty much the same since I was 8 years old. I had to modify it once I went to a plant-based diet, but it's absolutely amazing. I'll put this sauce up against anywhere, anybody, anytime, plant-based or not. I would put this sauce up against it. So I like to finish this. I'm just going to put a little bit of barbecue sauce in this. Again, you don't have to do this, but I know this is going to be eaten today. And then a lot of times I'll just eat it just like this. So I'll go ahead and stir that up a little bit. Just look how amazing that looks. I mean, that is just good looking food right there. I mean, I don't care who you are, that's good. And so the other way you can do these, if you like them a little crispy, or you want to develop more bark on these, from here you can either, once you mix them in barbecue sauce, you can take them, you can throw them in like an air fryer, and they'll crisp up really good. My wife likes them like that. I like them just like this. Or you can take them and you can line them on like a baking pan, and they'll crisp up that way as well. But again, I like to just do them in bulk, leave them in the refrigerator, and then when I take them, out of the refrigerator during a weeknight, I'll just grab a handful of them that I know we're going to eat for dinner, and I'll throw them in like a pan like this, and I'll just heat them up on the skillet with a little barbecue sauce, and they're good to go. They're finished off, they're ready to go. So that's smoked sweet potato burnt ends. So hit the subscribe button right now and subscribe to the Fool's Gold Plant-Based Barbecue Show, and I'll be seeing you soon on some future videos.